Good morning, brothers and sisters. Our reading today is from the book of Corinthians, First Corinthians, uh, verse 9, 24 to 27. Starting from verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners compete, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may not, so run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wrath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified.
Good morning, brethren. Um, I would like to appreciate the congregation for giving me this opportunity to officiate in this capacity, first of all. But before we proceed, I would like to quickly tell you a very little story about my personal life, as it may have a way to affect our understanding about this topic, a disciplined life. So those days, or so many years ago, while I was growing up, I used to be very stubborn, very stubborn. So after I finished my primary school education, I gained admission into the secondary school, right, which is popularly known as high school. So the school was a boarding school. So I was supposed to leave my home, my family, and go there, study, come back during holidays. During that period, I was very excited and happy that finally I'll be leaving my home to a place where I'll have a lot of freedom. Nobody would disturb me or monitor my day-to-day activities. So whenever somebody provokes me at home, I'll be like, oh, don't worry, very soon I'll leave the house for you people, and where I would have peace and live my life the way I like. Unfortunately for me, when I got there, it was a total different story. I was always wanting to go back home. Whenever I come back home, I don't want to go back to school again. I would always be on my parents to change my school to a different school where I would have to always go from home. But they refused until I got to higher secondary level, where I now became a prefect, had all the privileges to at least enjoy life too in school. But before then, the school already bent me in a way that I now know what to do and what not to do. You know, after I graduated, until today, I keep appreciating my parents for not taking me out of that school, because the school has molded me to a certain level that has been guiding me up to today, right? Which is why we would have to look into details about the information as it regards a disciplined life. So now, this is the outline. We'll be looking at the introduction and every others. What do we even understand about discipline? Basically, most of us feel like life is so in fact, life has become so in a way that it's now so abnormal things now become so normal to us as humans, right? We see things in a way that we should always have our way at every point in time. But here it says, a word that the word of now is a word that glorifies convenience and comfort. Discipline has become neglected, neglected virtues. Yeah, discipline is the very backbone of spiritual maturity, moral strength, and lasting success. That is fact. In the world of today, everything has become so convenient, comfortable for everybody. That is why you try to correct a child today, you find yourself in prison, right? That is why you want to take some certain actions to put people in their right position. You get into trouble. But unfortunately, it shouldn't be so, right? To attain a spiritual maturity, there must be some level, in fact, the highest level of discipline. To achieve success as a human being, you must have undergone a certain level of discipline, right? So it says, salvation is free, but spiritual growth costs something. It's very easy to say salvation is free, but the fact is, it must cost you something on the long run. You must have to give something to get this salvation. Grace saves us, but discipline shapes us. So, meaning of discipline. Basically, discipline is also generated from the same root as disciple, right? Which means learner under instruction, right? Or a trainee. So discipline is basically a disciplined person submits their will, habit, and desire to a higher purpose of authority. So if you must get to a certain level, your heart desires, it means there are things you must leave behind. There are things you must let go of. Some of those things that interest you most of the times, you see yourself beginning to withdraw from those things because of your purpose. The Bible this morning says, I think I'll have to read it again. So we'll all be on the same page. The book of First Corinthians chapter 9 from verse 27 to 20, 24 to 27. It says, do you not know that in the race all runners compete, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. So if you must be an athlete, you must exercise a very high level of self-control. If you must be a footballer, a soccer player, you must exercise self-control. If you must be a runner, you must exercise self-control. Why? Because you have to be on a diet. If you must be a runner, there are certain things you must not do. You can't be a smoker and you are running, right? You can't be a smoker before you get on the pitch or before you get on the track to run. You eat a heavy food, then you come out to run. What becomes your fate? You lose the race. It's certain. So you must discipline yourself in such a way that whenever you come out to operate or whenever you come out to do your business or carry out your normal activities, you get the goal you are pursuing. So it says, in all things, okay, they do it to receive a perishable worth, but we are imperishable. But we are imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not run without purpose, right? I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself will be disqualified. The whole essence is you check yourself in a way that even after you have modeled other people, you won't fall away. I tell people, they say, oh, I don't have that habit of preaching. I'm not the type that likes preaching. I don't think preaching is my thing. I don't think I'm capable of preaching. I don't think I'm the perfect person to preach. The fact is there's no perfect person to preach. There's no perfect person to officiate in the church. But the secret about preaching and officiating is the fact that it keeps you in check. If I would come and tell you not to do this, then I should always remember that I shouldn't, you must not see me doing this. The same thing I tell you not to do, which means I've kept myself in check or under control, right? Even Paul said it. I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. Without discipline, even the most anointed can fall. So to remain steadfast in the faith, you must have control over yourself. You must discipline yourself. So it simply means the whole basis is discipline, the power of discipline. need for discipline. So this is where we'll be looking about different needs, why we should discipline ourselves, right? The first one is because the Christian life is a race. Christian life has been described as a race, right? Paul likened it as a race. Why? Because it's a crown we are all running after. We are pursuing it so that at the end of the day, we all get the crown. We have a reward we are running to catch or to get. So what it simply means is that you must have to discipline yourself in order not to fall away. When you are running a race, you have to carry bags. Maybe you carry your hand luggage, your school bag, your laptop bag, and get to the track to run. Is it possible to do that? I need a response. Is there any possibility for you to run a race with your laptop bag at your back? Hmm? Or even to run a race carrying your Bible? It's not possible. So it means to run a race, you must have to let go of so many things. So if you must be a Christian that is ready to get to the final point, to make heaven, you must do away with a lot of things. You must learn to let go. That is where discipline comes. Many of us live the life of I want to impress my friends. I don't want to let my friends know that I'm the local type of person. No, because you want to feel among, you want to belong in a group. So you must have a purpose, right? Christian life is like a race. So there are so many things we must put away. That is where discipline comes in. Whatever sin you know that is a problem for you to, this is the right time to begin to find a way to drop them. We commit a lot of things knowingly and unknowingly. But how conscious are you about being careful? The other one says, because we are at war, it's clear. Every Christian continuously fight battle, whether you like it or not, but spiritual. But there's one armor for a Christian who is on a battlefield. Do you know what it is? Discipline. Because the word discipline gives you the ability to say no to some certain things. There are things that come your way, but with the power of discipline, you would say no, you will resist. People will come to you to introduce you to things that will pull you away, things that will consume you or destroy you. And they bring it, and all these things that destroy most of the time looks very nice and attractive. But with the power of discipline, what happens? You say, no, you can't do that. I know where I'm going, I know what I'm pursuing, and I don't think I'm cool with this. And by so doing, those guys will begin to know you for who you are. Whenever it's time to do the wrong things, they won't come to you. So the earlier we begin to understand the fact that we are at a battlefront or at a war, definitely you begin to stay more conscious. You begin to train yourself in such a way that you are always on the right track. The next one says, because God's power works through order. That's for sure. You can't be a Christian and you're living your life anyhow. Let's go here, you follow. Let's go here, you follow. You know, you don't have the mind of your own. You're not organized. There's no plan. You don't draw a schedule for yourself on daily basis. If orderliness wasn't a contributing factor, right? Then maybe we won't be here today. Maybe we'll come to church, you have to bring your chair from home. All of us will just come in a different way and everywhere disorganized. Everybody's talking at the same time. Christianity is all about orderliness. The reason is because you have a goal you want to achieve, right? To achieve that goal, you must draw out a strategy. A strategy, you must have a structure, right? The structure may not necessarily materialize within a day, within a week, within 2 weeks, but it may take some period of time. You go by the plan in accordance to the will of God, right? Over time, you get to your goal. That is why you don't have to be in church because my parents are in church, because my parents are Christians. You should know the reason why you are here. Because what happens when your parents are not there anymore, you go your way. But when you know what you're going for, what you believe in, you stand by it and make yourself a better person. The next one says areas where discipline is needed. This is the areas in our lives where we have to work on, particularly to have a change. The first one is discipline in mind. You must discipline your mind in such a way that your heart stays pure at every point in time. If you look at the Bible passage over there, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Guard your mind like a gate. You may not even know you are reflecting what your mind says. You won't know. That's why you see somebody, you'll be like, oh, this guy, you pretend so hard to be good, but people still see you to be a bad person. You see yourself, you just come to your friend and say, oh, I don't know why these people never like me. Why do I keep looking bad to people? Because the internal part of you, your mind reflects on the outside. Whether I like it or not, our actions most times is controlled by what we have in mind. Your mentality is your mind. If your mentality is about not being nice to people, you see yourself being bad to people all the time. If your mentality is about talking down on people all the time, you see yourself looking down on people all the time. So your actions come, in fact, your action is determined by what you have in mind. So if you can sanitize your mind, you see your lifestyle becoming better. That's why you be in a place. People like you for no reason. They don't even know why these guys like me. Why do you like me? I've never done anything with you. I've never had any transactional business with you. Why do you like me? Because your mind reflects in your attitude. So to make a good Christian, you must start with your mind. Work on your mind. Do not be in the gathering of people who discuss people all the time. Be positive minded at every point in time. It's very important. Let your outward smile be your smile. Don't be that type that would smile, but deep down you have something very bitter in you, or you're a very bitter person inside, but on the outside you keep smiling to people, pretending to be what you're not. The next one says discipline of the body. This one has to do with our complete activity as a human being, what we do with our life. This is where you begin to ask yourself, what kind of life do I live? What are my interests? If I must do this thing, what is the repercussion of what I want to do? What is the implication of what I'm doing? The moment you're conscious of all this, you see your life becoming better. You may not be the best Christian, but you have the best presence anywhere. The other one says discipline of the tongue. Many of us don't know how to control our mouth, to speak anyhow. You lay curses anyhow. You talk to people anyhow. Maybe because of a position, because of the kind of money you have, because of the level you've gotten to in life, the level of qualifications you have. Forgetting the fact that everything ends here. The moment you announce death today, what happens? Every other thing turns to all the certificates you've acquired in this life becomes wasted. The big house you have will become something, or you don't even know who your next of kin is. There's this saying that next of kin doesn't use debit card. What they do, they go to the bank and transfer the whole money because they don't even know how you made your money. Their own is to spend the money. So you must be very careful about how you speak because a word can destroy a lot of things. A single word from your mouth can destroy a lot of things. Discipline in spiritual life. Many of us live the life of anyhow it goes. How close are you to God? Do you pray? How conscious are you about Christianity? Do you really practice what you study or what you believe in? Or do you leave this place after church every day, then go back to something else? If you tell people outside that, oh, I'm a Christian, how do they even react? Some of us have lived the life that you don't even find it, you're not even proud to let people know that I'm a Christian. You can't even boldly say it outside. Because the moment you say it, everybody will be like, oh, Christian, seriously? How? Because of the kind of life you live. So your life must reflect Christianity. You must build yourself spiritually so that you stay connected. The rewards of discipline, spiritual maturity. Discipline produces stability and reliability. It's certain. Discipline will make you consistent in anything you're doing. Discipline will increase your spiritual, it will make you stable in every aspect. That is why you see Christians consistent in coming to church. No matter what the situation is, they find their way to the church. You see people that are sick still coming to church because of spiritual maturity. You see people, they will have issues with you in church. It will die immediately. They never take it out of it dies immediately. Life continues as normal. Everybody comes back to normal. spiritual maturity. It's only when there's no spiritual maturity you see people having unnecessary issues among themselves. Maybe we are in the business meeting, they raise a point and I disagree with brother Chris. Chris disagrees with me. We have issues. After that moment, we begin to, keep malice because we disagreed. But when you are disciplined and spiritually matured, things like that will never occur. So you must be disciplined to be able to get yourself spiritually matured. The next one is divine approval. Discipline wins, discipline wins not just earthly success, but eternal reward. That's a very just two strong points there. What it means is discipline will attract you physical success here on earth and even after you have died, after you've left this world. Because whether I would like it or not, in our different activities, to become successful in school, you must be discipline yourself. To become a successful businessman, you must discipline yourself. To become a successful um, whatever in your business or your job, whatever kind of job you do, to be successful there, you must be disciplined. To attain a very high position in your workplace, you have to discipline yourself. To make heaven, you must discipline yourself because discipline keeps you on the right track. Influence and trust. Influence and trust. God entrusts greater responsibility to the faithful. This is a case of, I'll paint a scenario. This is a case where, for example, we might just be here and they'll say, oh, we need somebody to become the church treasurer. Can we just nominate somebody? This is a position that requires some great level of integrity. But before you know it, the church begins to call on one person. We need this person to become the new treasurer. This person, everybody nominates a particular person. The only thing that will only make you get nominated for such position is only when you have integrity. When you have won the trust of people. When you have won the trust of people, but the moment you are able to do that, it means you have discipline, you've proven yourself. So it takes a high level of discipline to get to that level. This is not just about the church. Anywhere you find yourself at all, you must be conscious of the fact that you have an integrity you must maintain or build. That is why whenever you are called upon anytime, oh, what do you think about Sam? Even in your absence, people should be able to say something good about you if truly you are disciplined. But whenever you're living your life anyhow, or you're not sincere with your daily activities, that is when whenever you're meeting everybody, nobody wants to associate with you. Don't entrust him with this because if you give it to him, whatever happens, I'm not interested. It's not my business. I don't say I didn't want you. That shouldn't be our case as Christians. That is why even when you don't really go for a particular position, positions come to you. Opportunities come to you because you have proven to be disciplined. You have proven to have built a high level of integrity. Inner peace. Inner peace is another reward for discipline. A disciplined life brings order and clarity. It makes you straightforward. It gives you this peace of mind because you know that you have not done anything bad anywhere. There are people today that when they see the police van passing by, they begin to hide themselves because maybe they've committed something somewhere. Even when nobody is chasing them, they're always running because they know their hands are not clean. There are people that have, there are people that have, whenever they call, in fact, there are people that when they hear there's a problem outside, they begin to think of one of their children because they get worried. So inner peace is another key factor. The model of discipline, Jesus Christ. That is for sure. I won't spend too much time on this. We all know that Jesus Christ has spent his life on earth to at least because just to give us a proper and practical example of what a Christian life should look like. Right? He has done a lot of things. He has proven himself by overcoming so many temptations because of his disciplined life and everything. How to develop a disciplined life? Define your priorities. You must have priorities in everything you do. Do not just do your thing anyhow. This define be disciplined about the right things. Sorry. Be disciplined about the right things. God first, purpose second. That means put God first in everything you do. Start small, stay consistent. Start small. It's not something of you want to get everything once. You start small and stay consistent. Over time, you get to the point you're going. Control your environment. When you're disciplined, indirectly you begin to control your environment because nobody now wants to, everybody knows your standard, everybody wants to go by that. Be accountable. Be accountable. Depend on the Holy Spirit to guide you, right? In conclusion, discipline is not a bondage, right? It's the part of freedom. It frees you from the tyranny and tyranny of impulse and excuses. Discipline gives you the sense to think. It keeps you calculative. It makes you even more smarter than you can imagine because you have to double check every process. That is what it does. It reminds you of your purpose. This is the reason I told you the story about my growing up, right? When I was going to the school, I was very excited. Unfortunately, I became sad because it wasn't what I expected. The level of discipline there was high. I thought I would go there and be free, but unfortunately, I got there and I felt like I was in a prison. But today, I'm happy because I went there because they shaped my life. So the process of being disciplined is never fun. It's not interesting because you have denied yourself of a lot of comfort. But the result at the end is what matters. So don't expect it to be sweet or to come smooth. Paul said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. That is the testimony of a disciplined life. That should be our saying at the end of our days in this life. We should have the confidence to make the same statement that I have fought a good fight and I have finished the race. But you can only say this just in one condition, if only you have lived the right life. If only you have practiced Christianity as a person. This is an opportunity. Many of us may have not started. Meanwhile, majority of us have started. If you've not started at all, it's an opportunity to start now because tomorrow may not be. This is also an opportunity for you to give your life to Christ if you have not given your life to Christ, because tomorrow may not be. Now that we have the opportunity to hear the word, is also an opportunity for us to retrace our steps. So I would like to continue every one of us as we continue in this race. I would like to encourage every one of us as we continue in this race to not fall away, but instead, let's try to build ourselves and get stronger in faith as we progress in our individual lives. In Jesus' name.